you been, boo?
Good.
Good. Staying busy.
Yes, we're
Hey,
staying.
you got to go on a cruise recently.
I did get to go on a cruise. I hit the jackpot with that.
You did.
I did. And I was a little
I
worried.
held down the fort all by
I
myself.
know. I'm sorry.
I had help, but
I'm sorry I left you. But I couldn't refuse.
No, you couldn't.
My sweet friend Holly, when she called and said that she had a spot and it was already paid for and she needed me to go. First, I had typed out, because, as women, sometimes we get in our own head and we think, who's going to get our kids to school? Who's going to do this? Who's going to do that? And I had already typed out a text to her saying all the reasons why I couldn't. And then when I came into your office and I was like, Shayna.
I was like, go, girl.
Holly just called. And you're like, no, you have to go.
Yeah, everything else will figure itself out.
So it ended up being fantastic, just what we needed. We did whatever we wanted, had a great time. We loved it.
I'm so glad. I've never been on a cruise. I need to go on one.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, but I'd probably do a shorter one. I don't think I'd.
To start off with, yeah. To start off with. But we had, some people feel like 7 days is too long, but when you get into the groove of doing your thing, going to the comedy club at night, going to the piano bar, or whatever you want to do, it flew by. It was too fast.
It was a good break.
So yeah, it was really good. And somehow I came home and everybody managed to do what they were supposed to do. My kids survived. My desk at work was a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. Everybody figured out.
We all survived. We did good. We missed you, but we did good. I know. I recently watched this great movie on Netflix called The Life List.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that, and it's amazing. If anybody hasn't watched it,
I need to watch that.
And I've thought about that and the things that would be on my life list. And cruise is one. Still want to go to Prague.
Yeah.
I still want to get a tattoo. I'm going to do it. And there's some other things too, but I think it's so important to do those fun things, live life, because what's the point if you never have fun?
That's right.
I know we have responsibilities, but if you have the opportunity to go do something fun, you should always take it.
Well, I think we get it backwards sometimes. Like we work to live,
and we
instead
know
of living to do other things.
Well, I
think
think
it needs to be a little bit of who we are.
I really don't believe we were put on this earth to work 1,000,000 hours a week and never have a good time and it be drudgery and things like that. You have to live in the moment, present moment, and experience it and have a good time.
I totally agree.
Sorry it took me almost half a century to get to that thought process.
More adventures. We need to have more adventures.
Much more adventures.
And remember that it's not all about the stuff.
No.
Our memories aren't in the stuff. Because my kids tease me all the time that I'm throwing away their childhood because I purge and get rid of everything. And I'm like, my memories aren't related to your things. No. My memories are in my head, and they're things that I carry with me forever.
Right.
It's not in the stuff. No. Whether I have a fancy car or a diamond ring or any of that, it's not in that.
No,
it's not in that. It's the crazy, silly times you and I decide to do stupid things, and maybe later on think, well,
maybe we shouldn't have, but maybe we should have, and it's an experience.
We've got those.
And speaking of today, our guest, I think it's going to be an amazing podcast. Sabrina Ciceri is coming on, and she's got a new spa opening, and I'm so excited because I've really delved into more holistic, alternative type therapies and ways of helping us as we age or are sick. And she's like Johnny on the spot with that. So I'm excited.
I'm so glad Lake County's going to have that option instead of having to travel other places to get it.
Exactly, yeah.
Welcome to the Style Podcast. Today we have Sabrina Ciceri joining us. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it so much. Shayna and I have been talking about the podcast today because we've got three pretty dynamic personalities sitting here at the table today. So welcome.
Yeah. No, thank you for having me on. It's exciting.
I want to get right into you're an author, you are a mom, you're a wife, you're a business owner. How do we manage to balance all this? Because we all do this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was always heard that if you want something done, give it to the woman that's already busy because she knows how to juggle multiple things. And I think that's how I thrive best. Just taking on, really more than I can handle most of the time.
I'm the same way though. Yeah. If I don't have something to do, I get antsy.
Yeah.
So
I'm more productive the more I'm overloaded.
Yes.
Same.
That's why every organization I've ever been a part of, it's the same three women that handle everything that's going on in it. no matter what kind of organization it is, because those are the people that always get it done.
Yeah.
And it's usually the people that are the busiest.
Especially when you're a control freak.
That might
Nobody
be a
can,
little bit, that might be a
nobody
little
can
bit
do
to
it quite
with
as good as you think you can, you know?
Right. That might be a little bit of it. So,
Yeah.
when you wrote your book, what prompted you to start writing?
Well, I had wanted to write a book for many years about it because I'd always joke every time something would happen with my mom or come around and be like, oh, it basically was my mother. I'm like, if it's not one thing, it's a mother. Because it's been like raising her. She was my first child. When I was 11 years old, I became her mom. So finally, I just decided I was traveling down south for work and I had 3 hours each way all the time. I'm like, I'm going to start recording. So that's what prompted me to finally get it done is I just started voice recording.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That is a good idea because people think you have to have time to sit and write, but at the same time, I'm in my car listening to an audiobook. I could be doing the same thing. That's a great idea.
I found a good ghostwriter. So I wrote, speaking my story, and then he was able to pull it together and send me chapters. And I wrote the titles of the chapters, kind of talked them through on the recording and sent it to him, and then he would clean it up and put it together without trying to lose my voice of it, Yeah. So I had the help of them.
That should be our next thing.
I know, writing a book. What kind of advice would you give somebody that, like us, that would say, hey, we want to write a book? Because there is so much knowledge, I think, between women who are motivated, women who always want to keep growing, keep learning, keep being better humans, no matter what age you are, to take the step, take the plunge. Like, what do you need?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you just have to start doing it. And it is recording. You can listen to less in the car, less music, and call less people, and then just start recording it slowly. You can listen to it yourself. I did start writing a little bit, but it was just taking way too long. So doing the voice recording and then finding that guy, which was, I say reasonable. I can't remember what it was now because I did it a couple years ago exactly, but it was a reasonable fee, and he charged as it went with taking the stuff and turning it into a book.
How long did it take you to put the book together?
6 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you self-publish or?
Yes, self-published, but I had help of somebody that knew how to do it on Amazon
Right.
and get it done, so the book's on Amazon. And it's really, I mean, I just love it. The book, I think, costs me maybe $1 or $2, for the publisher to get copies of it so you can give it out to family or keep it for yourself. And then selling it reasonably, $11 on Amazon. I haven't made any real money, but I've sold like 50 books, some out of the country. So it's been exciting.
That is cool.
But mainly, I'm glad I have the book for family and friends to be able to just to have. It's an accomplishment. I feel good that I finally got my story on print, in paper.
Now, what made you transition into immunity health? Like, what's your background that made you decide to start going that direction?
Well, I've always been into health, but just as an LPN, that was what I was formerly trained to do. And I got real
Do you need a job?
No, I've got too many jobs as it is, but just got real disappointed with what I was seeing with my own patients, with one prescription leading to another that take care of the side effects of the one, and it was frustrating. So I just started looking at a different way, alternative. I was always into fitness and health, so that's when I opened up the gym. It was the first and only little personal training studio back in the day, and just one thing led to another. I think it was just the perfect time. And when COVID hit in 2020, and I was talking to Joe, my husband, I said, this is the time right now. People are aware. They understand that their body has to do something because they're not trusting everything out there to help them.
Well, the majority of us weren't. I think that was the thing, too. And you're right. That was an eye-opener that time.
Yeah.
I think I had always been one of those people that believed in so many things that were told to me by government agencies and things. And then when that happened and I saw a different side of it, I started to question everything.
Yeah.
So it fascinates me, like the different IVs that you'll be offering, things like that, detoxification, less dependence on pharmaceuticals, because you're not wrong. It's not there to make you better. It's there to create a crutch.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's times when I think, medicine's needed.
Right.
There definitely is a time, but it's being abused. It's misused. And I was able to find, actually through Healthy Living Magazine, found a couple that had saved their life that had cancer, terminal cancer, through a healing center down in West Palm, Hippocrates. So I was able to train and learn there. And the things that I saw really aligned with the body knows how to heal itself. We need to give it what it needs and support it with things, and it knows what to do. I got to see and talk to people that were diagnosed with the strongest, most aggressive forms of cancer that turned it around just through nutrition, lifestyle changes.
Is there mindset? Do they study the mindset down there too as well? Because I know
a big part.
I've really studied that over the past few years, how powerful our minds are, and the thoughts that we have help create. And you can either decide that, hey, I've got this diagnosis, this is it, I'm done, or no, that I don't accept it.
That's right. Yeah, you can pump people. The director down there used to say it all the time. They could put you on the strictest diet, pump wheatgrass in you all day long, living foods, oxygen. But if you're negative and you think that nothing's going to work, it's not going to work.
Exactly.
So it is powerful with the mind, the spiritual, having faith and belief, staying positive. That has a huge part in it. I mean, we've all seen the people that we wonder why they haven't died years and years ago. It's like, God, they've got everything going against them, but they walk around nonchalant. They don't care. They have a drink. They smoke a cigar, and they just keep...
mindset,
Yes, it's mindset.
When you went down to, what prompted you to go down there to Hippocrates to check it out originally?
Well, it was the one man that I had met that, saved his life through going down there. And I had been on a journey kind of researching and learning, and went to a few places in California, checking out some wellness centers and just trying to figure out what I thought the next step was in health, especially since everything got turned upside down from what I was trained, with medicine. I had no faith in it really anymore. That's when I went down and scheduled a visit myself. I did 3 weeks. This was October of 2010. I did a 21-day stint down there and got to learn and experience it myself, the changes, and never looked back after that.
So you actually went down and participated and took some healthy treatment type stuff.
And to date, I ended up spending 52 weeks down there. I ended up getting a job there, published in their magazine, and then went on to have an immunity. He invited Immunity, the director, and we did our services down there on his campus for a little over a year. I was driving down to West Palm for work, and that's what gave me the time to do the book. But that got old, so we needed to come back home.
That's a drive.
Yeah. What kind of services do you offer at Immunity that were inspired by Hippocrates?
Well, currently, right now, we've got the red light therapy. We've got a Theralite 360 bed, which
I've heard lots about that.
Tell me about it.
Red light therapy is great. I mean, the main thing is it produces ATP, energy inside the cell. So it will energize the body, but what it does more importantly is the energy inside the cells, how they communicate with each other and how the organs communicate. And we get sick and lethargic and fatigue because our cells aren't healthy and they don't produce the ATP that they need to communicate back and forth. So that's one thing that red light therapy does. Heals soft tissue, reduces pain, induces deep sleep. There's a multitude of things that it does, and everybody that does red light therapy will come back and do it again. They see the benefits from it. So that's one thing that we offer. Hyperbaric chambers, because in the presence of oxygen, no illness or disease can take place, and especially brain fog. I think one of the biggest focuses that we're focusing on is cognition. So many people are feeling decline, the foggy. You hear that all the time, even amongst young people. Everything's toxic.
Right.
Things are more and more toxic. Even the air we breathe is losing its oxygen level. So when you can get into an oxygen chamber, it's going to benefit you greatly. And then IV nutrients, of course, we've got that. We offer sexual wellness, which is shockwave therapy, because that's a real important part of life. Who wants to live to be 100 if they can't keep that part going?
Yeah,
true.
So we've got that. We've got Scarlet microneedling with plant-based stem cells to try to help the skin stay young. We got medical-grade hydrofacials called Aquafirm. And then at the new place, we're adding in colonics. We're adding in body treatments where we're going to wrap in castor oil and magnesium. Tons of new things coming at the new location. The thermal cycle, I think that's probably what I'm most excited about. Scandinavian spas, some people have heard of them. They're mainly outdoors, Canada and Switzerland, excuse me. But there's one in California that I was able to experience, and we have replicated that here, and we're the only one in Florida right now that's going to offer it. Indoor thermal cycle, where they'll have a steam room, sauna, hot tub, cold plunge, all indoors.
Oh, that's super cool. I've heard a lot about all of those things. Like the going into saunas for a certain amount of time, the benefits of that, the cold plunge benefits, things like that.
Yeah, one of the only ways that you can the best way I'd say for us normal people to detox would be in an infrared sauna, because nobody's sweating like they should. We've got to release toxins in some way. So there's two great ways. Chlorella, blue-green algae pills help your body to detox because they're a toxin binder that pulls these things out of the body. But saunas, everybody can do that. Sit in it every day, 20, 30 minutes, and just sweat and get those toxins out is wonderful. And then when you can go to that into a cold plunge, you're getting that vascular constriction after you've dilated everything, so you're working out your whole cardiovascular system.
How cold does it have to be?
50 to 55 degrees.
How long do you have to be in it?
I mean, you can go down for 15 seconds, but you do end up working yourself up to doing more.
Yeah, that we could do.
You could, but you just can't stop. People make a mistake and put their toe in. Oh, no, don't put your toe in. Go.
Just go.
Commit, go all the way,
Right.
and then you'll feel so refreshed. As soon as you step up out of the first plunge, your pain's reduced, you feel sharper, you'll see your skin's tighter, Yep.
Need that. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Okay. We'll be back in just a moment with more. But first, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Lake Center Home Care and Disability Consultants.
Get all the Social Security disability benefits you deserve with disability consultants Chris Bell and Jeff Bell. Our experienced Florida certified ADR handle claims on a contingency fee basis, meaning you don't pay unless we recover money for you. We have established a strong reputation as a firm that cares and provides the best care to its clients. Call us today or visit cbell.com.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. We're talking to Sabrina Ciceri. Thanks for joining us today. Earlier, you mentioned your new location for Immunity Health. Tell me, where is it?
Yeah, we're so excited about the new location. It's at the old emergency vet. Sadly, everybody kind of knows by Comcast.
Okay, gotcha.
Xfinity or Infinity or whatever it is now. But we bought that building. It's over 6,000 square feet. And we've been, in the last few months, working on a total remodel. I mean, we're ripping out the landscaping, redoing the parking lot, repainting the outside, gutting the inside of it, making that indoor thermal cycle. It's going to be awesome because we've been operating out of about 1,700 square feet. And now finally we're going into this location. It's going to be world class.
So y'all took over the whole building, not just the vet, but there was doctor's offices there as well?
No, it's just a standalone building.
Oh, it's the standalone, so they must be to the right of that.
It was
Okay.
a standalone.
Yeah, I've made
It's
a
gonna
couple
be
of visits
awesome.
to that emergency.
Very unlike what anybody's ever seen in Lake County. I mean, I would venture to say we're going to have people coming from South Florida coming up here for this. It's going to be very, very unique with what we offer there.
We were talking about the different thermal therapy and the cold therapy. If I wanted to come and do like the process, experience it, what would be the optimum thing? Like, what do you start with? What do you finish with? Tell me about how the process works.
Okay, we're going to have it posted on the wall in there so people can see it. It's also going to be on a water bottle that we give you, so you can see it. But generally, you'll come in and you'll want to do about 20 minutes in the sauna, and then you'll get all burning up hot and go to the cold plunge. And then as soon as you do a 15-second dip in that, you'll get out, and we're going to say to go into the steam room. Spend about 10 minutes in the steam room, and then go back into the cold plunge. And then you do the hot tub for a few minutes, and then go back to the cold plunge, and then you can sit outside. Right now we're having stone grounding loungers being made that will be sitting in there, so when you take little breaks in between the cycles, you'll have somewhere to sit and relax. No cell phones will be allowed back there. We're going to urge to be more silent, less chatty, so you can really get the full benefit of the relaxation. And then you'll go do the cycle again. 2 hours, probably 3 cycles, and you've really recirculated pretty much all of the cells in your cardiovascular system. Because never, hardly, as an adult, do we get to open up all the vessels down through our body and then close them, but it gets a workout like that. The heat expands, the cold will contract, and you really increase oxygen, you increase circulation in the body. I get asked probably all the time about, well, cardiovascular, won't they give you a heart attack? No, it's quite the opposite. It's very heart healthy for the majority.
Now, women who, like my age, who are coming into menopause, middle age, that sort of thing, what do you think is the most important treatment? What can we do to help? Because brain fog is a real thing. What did I say? Frog. Fog. Brain fog. Brain fog is a real thing. Hot flashes. The night sweats, all that is a real thing. They all happen, maybe in different degrees to people, but they all happen. And I know I'm experiencing some of that now. And with hormone treatment, I want a solution. I don't always want a pill to mask the symptoms. So what do you think's going on there? What's the best treatment?
Well, I think that, talking about the hormones, that's going to be key. It's going to be really important. We start out, that's one thing that we're going to be bringing there that we're excited about as well, is the testing. We've got a clinical nutritionist that's brilliant, lots of experience. We've got a medical director that's actually going to come in-house and spend hours there now every week and work with people, because really we have all the services, all the nutrients, things to help people, but we do need to know what that body's needing. Mm-hmm. And sadly, it is going to require a cream, a pill, or something.
It's a whole package.
Yeah.
Mind, body, everything.
Yeah. But, I don't think that when you reach a certain age, and even younger and younger, we're seeing people depleted in their nutrients. We're going to have to supplement. And the foods, when people say, well, I eat a good variety of foods, well, the food's depleted right now. It doesn't have what it used to have in it. So I don't see how anybody's going to get away without taking some type of supplement. The good thing about testing with hormones and the nutrients and everything is we can save you from getting pill fatigue with taking what you don't need. Let's take a look at what you need and give you just what you need. Not waste, your money or having to swallow more than you need if you're already making adequate amounts of it. But you're going to have to take a pill.
Yeah.
Or shot or something,
I know. That's the reality of it. So
you can get liquid. There's ways you can ease it up, or patches, with some things. But, I think really with the hot flashes and all of that, there's lots of hormones. There's over 50 hormones in the body. Most doctors take weekend classes and everybody's throwing out hormones, talking about the sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. But really there's foundational hormones that we need to start with that could really make a difference before you'd even have to get to that level. There's a lot of people that are given hormones, sex hormones out, and it's dangerous because you can actually cause more harm in the body if you're just going there first. You've got to start, and people have to be committed to really checking and getting to the bottom of it, not just wanting a quick fix.
Earlier, we talked about, too, sexual health. It is a big part of aging well. That's a taboo subject. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, but let's talk just a little bit about that because it is important. And we're living longer. We're trying to stay healthier longer. We want the full package for as long as we can.
No pun intended, audience.
Yeah.
Right. No, really, I think it's sad that society has accepted that a man reaches a certain age and something just doesn't work. We weren't designed that way. It wasn't set up in the design of our bodies to where, for men especially, that at some certain age it's just acceptable. I don't believe it should be acceptable for men. They're going to have to wake up and take accountability for what they're doing. Foods do clog up vessels. The smallest vessels in the body are in this region. So there are things to help, but they need to also try to address their body as a whole, clean up their diet some, take some supplements that they need, like some nitric oxide to help the vascular system. And then we have found great benefits with shockwave therapy. Because when you get in there and you wake the area up, you're going to get more blood flow. So we've seen lots of good results with that. And it goes same for the women as well. Women get vaginal dryness. Things they lose some desire. Things aren't quite as enjoyable as it used to be. Shockwave therapy, getting on hormone replacement can help with lubrication, help with desire. All that come back to where you can live optimally all the way through your life. I mean, I know people that I've met that are in their hundreds that are still sexually active. They have committed to keeping their whole body. Like I say, we wouldn't accept it all of a sudden if our left arm just stopped working after the age of 40, but somehow society has accepted that appendage on a male doesn't work, and it doesn't have to be that way. I'm not accepting it.
Exactly. Let's not accept that. Let's change the norm.
Yeah, exactly.
It shocks me that there are men. Look, it was a revelation to me, and I'm just going to say this. I don't care. It was a revelation to me. I'm 49, and I made a comment to Lori that day we went to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Something about, how women think about sex, how men think about sex. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't wake up thinking about sex. I have a lot going on in my life, but I'm going to tell you right now, I may or may not have done a survey because I was astounded. And she told me I was wrong. I said, men don't think about it all the time. She goes, yes, they do. And I said, no, they don't. Girl, they do. They do.
They do.
The average was multiple times an hour. And I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
Well, no wonder we're the ones picking the kids up, taking the kids their lunch, helping with the homework, doing this, because that's all they think about.
So you would think that their sexual health and their sexual well-being would be more important. They just want it to miraculously happen.
They just want an easy fix.
Well, one thing I think that is good that we're addressing is that you don't have to be completely limp to need treatment.
Right.
I think there's guys out there that thinks it's working still as good as it was, and it's not quite working as good.
No.
It might be satisfying them, but nobody else. So anybody that just wants to make their performance better,
Right. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing before you get help. That's right.
And men think about it all the time, but women might not think about it as much. But when
Until
we do think about it, we want it good.
Right. They do. I swear God has a sense of humor. It's all I'm going to say.
Because as busy as we are, I know that's how my brain works.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about what's for dinner, who's picking up the kids, where they are. We talked about that before we were taping the podcast today, that we're all running all over doing different things, being moms and being women and being business people.
Yeah.
But when we do think about it, we think about it, and then we want to make sure that
Definitely.
It's,
Yeah, and if they want us to think about it more, make it memorable for us, men.
right.
Then we might want it a little more.
And it does keep us healthy. It's a part of the
and
whole
I'm
process.
Stop eating Jimmy Dean sausages.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm just going to say I really hope that's not edited out because that needs to be said.
No, that's right.
If you need me to think about it more,
That's right.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
right. When you're going to come at us ladies over 50, let's not fold it in.
That's right.
And I'm not talking about, but I'm saying in women in general because it wasn't just as I'm fine in that department. But what I'm saying is, I talk to women all the time because I came back to the office that day after we talked.
I had her surveying everybody.
Men our age, we're still thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
older,
Every age.
older than me by 10 years, 15 years. And the girls in the office, when I talk to them, now a lot of them have smaller children, but even still, some of them have older, and they were just like us. They were like, what? No, I don't think about it all the time.
No, it's all the time.
Right.
I've got a life to live, you know? I'm like, how do they do their jobs every day?
It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Still, it's just astounding.
All right, we're going to take a short break and we will be right back. We'd like to thank our sponsors, Disability Consultants and Lake Center Home Care.
Nobody wants an aging family member who is unable to care for themselves to be home alone. Lake Center Home Care believes the best healing happens when you are most comfortable. The company provides exceptional personal care in the comfort and privacy of your own home. Whether you need skilled nursing, physical therapy, home health aides, or companion services, your loved ones will enjoy peace of mind knowing you're being taken care of and treated with respect and dignity. Lake Center Home Care is locally owned and managed with a team of highly qualified professionals who are passionate about taking care of their neighbors. Call 352-315-0050 or visit golchc.com to learn more about this amazing company.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. Sabrina, earlier we touched on the uncomfortable subject of sexual health, but we got to talk.
I didn't think we acted uncomfortable.
No, well, it's not.
With it.
It's not. It's not uncomfortable to us.
Yes.
but it is to some people.
Right.
But let's also talk about colonics because it's a scary word. A lot of people don't even know what it is. So tell me about that.
Yes, it's greatly needed. You know, I first heard about it years ago when I was talking about, Hippocrates with cleansing. Part of getting rid of illness and changing diagnosis is not just about putting good stuff in, but it was very important about getting things out. So part of their whole program is regularly 3 times a week colonics. And then I found another center that I was checking into for health and healing, and they do a colonic every day. So it really got my attention into looking into these places that have been reversing terminal diseases for decades. It's all got colonics in it. And the closest places around here to get one is Gainesville, and then down in Orlando, there's just a couple, but not very many. We're going to be the only one in Lake County right now that does it, and I hope to see more and more pop up.
Okay, and tell me exactly what it is.
Okay, so exactly, this closed system that we have is putting a tube in the rectum and adding water, hydrating the colon and massaging the abdomen a little bit, and then you do releasing. It's nothing gross. Once somebody's experienced it, they'll see that it's totally professional. There's not odors. There's nothing coming out loose anywhere. It's in a tube that you can see it leave. But I've heard wonderful stories of people that have health and healing from being able to get that out. It does stick, stool does stick to the walls. It impairs you able to receive nutrients, not chemicals, but nutrients and things, and being able to eliminating the bad toxins is very important because toxins is what sits in the body and gets us sick to begin with and makes us lethargic.
Think, we've heard so much over the past few years, at least I have, with gut health and how
huge.
The majority of everything originates there. And if your gut health is bad,
I know everything's bad. Well, the immune system resides in this area anyway, so you want good optimum gut health. But I met a lady that was sharing her story of colonics and said that when she was about 5 years old, she'd eaten a little pink Barbie shoe when she was little, and she was in her 40s and had a colonic, and through a series of them, the Barbie shoe went through the little tube. It had stuck to the side of the wall. People just think that you eliminate everything, but you don't. And as we age even more, there's sticky that pulls more bad things to it. I met another lady that's 73 years old, and at 25, she'd went through about 13 surgeries in a year. with her gastrointestinal. They couldn't figure out what was wrong. They actually gave her 6 months to live. And that's usually the point when somebody starts looking at quackery, the alternative stuff. So somebody had told her about colonics. She had colonics done, a series of them, felt tremendously better. Her abdominal pain went away that week. So she kept doing it. And she's alive and well today, not on any medication, never been sick. And she's 73 and told she was going to die at 25. So that being said, I think part of what we're trying to do with making it a wellness center for people that are enlightened, that just want to slow down premature aging and they want to just feel better and stay energetic, because you can do that till you die too. 100 years old, you can stay energetic. Or for people that are frightened, they've been given a bad diagnosis, they don't know what to do, their body's telling them they need more than just what the doctor's telling them, then they come in, and this is all a vital part. The colonics, the colon therapy had to be added in, because if not, I'd have felt like we're missing something that people need in a protocol for themselves.
Interesting. No, that is very interesting.
It's really important.
Is there anything that you guys are going to do there that we haven't touched on that you think is really important for people to know that you're going to be offering?
Well, I think we've touched on the majority of it. Another thing that is probably really important is body treatments. Everybody knows about massages and they're to feel good, but I don't think they realize the real health benefits of it. It does detoxify the body with circulating the lymph. And then to incorporate what we're going to incorporate, which is adding castor oil, putting the castor oil all over the body, wrapping it, letting it sit there for 45 minutes is super healing. Magnesium wraps. We're going to be doing a lot of
I've heard a lot about the castor oil.
Yeah, so it's not just going to be feel good. It's going to be that it's really going to be changing your body.
Can I ask you this? Detoxification. Looking back, I've become much more enlightened on things. My children are 20 and almost 18. So, when they were little, I didn't question vaccines. I didn't question things like that. Looking back on it now, are there ways, are those kind of things, can you help detoxify some of the stuff that maybe we did that we wouldn't have done had we had the knowledge then?
Definitely, 100%. Okay. Actually, when I fostered children and I had to follow that system of their shots and all that, I was freaking out. But I was able to help eliminate the side effects from those with lots of chlorella, with wheatgrass, with saunas for sure, red light therapy. I mean, I've done all this with my kids, for years. So there are things you can do. We see lots of people that's had COVID multiple times or had the COVID vaccine, and they're experiencing negative side effects, and we bring them in and put them on a protocol of red light therapy that helps open those detox pathways to eliminate through saunas, IV drips that gives the body nutrients that helps push those things out.
That's amazing.
There are
because I do know many people that hindsight's always 20/20, and were scared, took the vaccine, and regret it terribly. Yes. So there are ways to counteract it. Okay, that's awesome.
There's ways to just work with anything that you've been diagnosed with. That's what's so wonderful. We have a drip called alpha lipoic acid, ALA, which has been known to, again, the things that are found out about this stuff through doctors that do it. And when somebody's given no hope or terminal illness, they go find these, like I say, quack doctors or whatever.
Which actually turn out to be the ones that have the most intelligence.
They live. There's protocols where people that's had cirrhosis, fatty liver, and it's totally regenerated itself, that they told was not going to live very long at all. And through some drips, like alpha lipoic acid, it reverses Parkinson's symptoms, pain.
Really?
It's just tremendous, the different things that your body will do. It is truly miraculously made when you give it some support.
It's the truth. It is the truth. And it's actually designed that way to heal itself.
Right.
It's so funny. You compare it to animals, and you'll hear people say, like, when your animals go off and they're not eating and things like that, and you think that's the body's way. It's their body's way of saying, I'm trying to heal myself. Something's not right. I'll be fine.
Right.
I've studied like intermittent fasting a lot and the benefits of fasting in general. I just find it all so fascinating.
Yeah, giving the body a rest. Back in the old days, grandmas used to say, feed a cold, starve a fever.
Yes.
They knew. The lady that started Hippocrates over 70 years ago was a lady that healed herself of stage 4 colon cancer. Because she started seeing when she was years ago and was sick, her grandmother had her eating some grass, like horses. Basically
My
they
dog
know what
does
to do
it when his stomach bothers him.
And she healed herself. So that's one thing that got it on the scene about wheatgrass and things like that. I mean, people would be surprised. So many people say, are you prepared if something bad happens? Do you have your food stored? I'm like, we got green all around us. I'm going to thrive if something would happen. I mean, I don't want anything to happen, but I'm not that worried about where we're going to get our meat from, because it's really...
Well, and it's so interesting, too. A lot of our toxins are found in our foods. To bring up, I have 2 labs, and we even started noticing, even though we did high-quality dog food, one of them has allergies. So we started looking up recipes that we could make and feed to them. And it has changed. Like he's more energetic.
Right.
He's lost a little weight. He's my chunky monkey. And he just feels better. He has more pep in his step, whereas before he just laid around.
Yeah.
So it's even for the animals. It's not even just us. It's toxins across the board.
So much is in our food, that's really killing us. I mean, losing weight's a big thing. That's another thing we're adding in. I have been able to experience myself some work with GLP-1s, and I believe that helping people with their sugar dysregulation is really important, and it can be a game changer, a life changer, because a lot of illnesses are related to weight. I mean, people come in all the time. I mean, big out to here. I got this pain here, and do you know? Well, first of all, we need to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, let's take care of the obvious first,
Right.
and then you'll be surprised about half the ailments that leave. I mean, high blood pressure, sugar. Diabetes type 2 is totally curable. Well, I think we've known that.
Yes.
Right now,
It
there's
is
lots
completely.
of research out there about Alzheimer's, which I know that people will disagree with this, but they're getting ready to start calling that type 3 diabetes.
I've heard
It's
the
gonna be
same.
totally
which is-
preventable.
I didn't know
Exactly.
that.
Yes, type 3 diabetes. I watched a TED talk on it.
The sugars. I mean, sugars are dangerous.
Very dangerous. Sugar, actually, the funniest thing I don't know if you ever watched Landman.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Do you remember the
I love it.
scene
Well,
where
Michelob
Billy-
Ultra isn't even drinking alcohol. 'Cause,
You're not wrong, right?
Yeah.
Well, Billy Bob Thornton, the scene where Nate, the older gentleman's eating a Pop-Tart, and Billy Bob Thornton's character is
Yes.
smoking a
Yes.
cigarette,
Oh.
and Nate gets onto him, and he said,
Loved
and
it.
goes through the whole diatribe of, listen to me, what you're eating, that's going to kill you way
That's
faster
right.
than me inhaling any of this.
That's right. I used to say that about pastors. This will get hated too. Pastors up there preaching about everything you got to get rid of, and he had 100 pounds on him.
Yes.
I'm like, well, that's a sin too.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Don't
Let's
point
not-
the finger at me till you take
Yeah,
care.
you got a speck in your own eye.
Right.
That's
yeah.
right. Well, Sabrina, we have had so much fun talking to you today. We could do this all day long.
Yes.
But we appreciate you coming on, and we're probably going to have you back.
I'm
at
really
some
excited
point.
to visit your.
Yeah, because we want to find out what's going
I
on.
gotta
So
get you ladies in the cold plunge.
that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
You might want to record that for the podcast.
I'm getting their commitment on.
That's right. I'll do it. Yeah,
I'll
for
have to
sure.
have a hair appointment right after, Christy, but we'll do it.
Well, thank you for joining us today on the Style Podcast. We'll see you next time. Okay.
That was so much fun. I
I
really
know.
did have fun, and I'm going to try it. Especially I think the sauna thing, the red light therapy.
Yeah, I want to try the plunge, the cold
Maybe
plunge
the
thing.
colonics. Who knows?
Yeah. I think it's important to have the conversations, and as women we need to have more of those conversations that are the tough conversations, because we do want to live longer and healthier and have more normal life the older we
Right,
get.
and I'll be honest, it may sound vain, but I do want to try to remain physically youthful and,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
and take
with
care of myself so that, I don't know, it's inside and outside for me.
Right.
But it was really interesting. I'm excited about everything.
I do think it's important to have a conversation, because so many people don't want to talk about stuff like that.
No, they don't.
And
She didn't care. I love that.
no.
It was just normal. And I don't know why some subjects are so taboo. It's kind of weird. It's like, well, why?
I know.
But I'm excited. I had fun.
I know, me too.